All righty. Good morning, everybody. Just getting things up and running here. All right, guys, welcome to the Hurley Investments Trade Findings and Adjustments of February 22nd, 2024 to 2224. Man, I remember how exciting it was when it was February 22nd, 2022. That was some crazy stuff. All right. Here's our currently stuff from last week, the 15th. That was this little dip here and this little dip. Inflation data coming in a little hotter than wanted and expected. But today is a completely different story. Anyone in the know on why the market is bouncing so big today? Anybody? It's not that early. I feel like this is a pretty decent answer or a decent question to answer. Those of you just joining us, why is our market popping up today? What is happening? We are pushing up above all-time highs, this 5,036 level. Nailed it. Thank you, Jeff. NVIDIA earnings. Perfect. So let's take a look at a couple of stocks. NVIDIA earnings, shouldn't that mean Apple just really takes off too? They're a chip stock company. I mean, kinda. They're struggling to hold above a 200 day. Amazon up big. Meta up big. Microsoft up big. Google was up big, opened up big, kind of come back, but they're still up. Netflix up, maybe not crazy amounts, but that's a pretty good jump. Looking at my stock list here, it's up 2%, over 2%. Meta is up almost 5%. Well, it was earlier. It's up 4%. What else we got? Tesla's not doing anything. Not much anyway. Let me get back to you there, Jeff. Hold on a sec. So, based on those stocks that I looked at, what do you think is pushing the market higher in general, besides Nvidia? Nvidia too, but what else is moving? Not Baidu, not Disney, not Boeing. Thanks up a little bit. What is it? Jeff says AMD. Well, of course, AMD is up big because of Nvidia. But what I'm kind of trying to get at with some of these, showing you some of these stocks, the ones that are up big in general versus the ones that are kind of up to flat, should tell us a little something of what is moving the market again today. But yes, it's Nvidia. Yes, AMD's going up with Nvidia because they're both big chip stocks. What I'm getting at, yes, the semis are up. Yes. But overall, the main stocks up with Nvidia and the semiconductors. Let me give you one more chance. It's Meta. It's Amazon. It's Netflix. What do we call some of those? Yes, it is tech. But the word I'm looking for is the magic 7. At least 6 of the 7, 5 of the 7. Google and Apple, they're not really doing crazy, but some of these other ones, Microsoft, those are all up. I'll add AMD, Micron, semiconductors up with NVIDIA as well. Those things sort of make sense. Don't know why necessarily why Microsoft needs to be up big or Meta. They're more users of NVIDIA and semiconductor products. Apple makes chips. Why isn't Apple up? Okay, so a couple things that don't make sense. I mean, I know Microsoft makes computers and they're not really a chip stock. My point is Nvidia up big because a lot of companies are using AI. Their data centers, the Nvidia chips and data centers, stuff like that, to process AI. Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, they're all using those data centers and using those chips and products of NVIDIA. But why on earth does that mean they need to go up? And this is rhetorical. I don't really know why. It's kind of like, what would this be like? Kind of like a milk farm making all this money selling milk and their price going up, as well as all of the yogurt, cheese, and other companies are also using the milk products. That makes a little sense, but goodness, this doesn't really make sense. They're paying for these services, and so that means they should go up big with Nvidia. I don't know, but it is some of the big seven, Magic Seven, and one of the Magic Seven, Nvidia, is going up. So maybe all that there is to explain is that um, one of them doing well is a boost for everybody. And maybe my analogy kind of sucked. Maybe it's more like a restaurant using milk products, and they're paying for those services, but milk selling a whole lot of product, milk farmers selling a whole lot of milk doesn't necessarily mean those restaurants are doing great. But I guess we're just going to take it as it comes. Just a couple confusing things this morning. Apple, why isn't Apple up with these other ones? Why are these other ones up with Nvidia? It's a little weird. Not complaining, just noticing. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, Meta, they've been able to track users and track people better since Apple kind of put them out on the curb, not being able to track users using the the Facebook app on the iPhone, stuff like that. So Meta has had to use AI to kind of get back into being able to track people and figure things out to target ads and so on and so forth. So they really need those AI chips to be able to do that, AI and AI chip services and stuff. So maybe that kind of makes a little bit of sense, but not 4%. So that's currently what's going on. That's what's moving our market. What are we going to do about it? How can we profit from this? Consumer Disney. Is Disney consuming AI chips? Is that what you're saying, Jeff? So here's where I want to go with this. Do we buy calls on Nvidia? What do you guys think? Oh, okay. Sorry, Jeff. I get what you're saying. So what do you guys think? Do we buy calls on Nvidia, pushing up to greater highs? Man, they came from 500 basically all the way up to 745 and now came to earnings and just exploded again. Nvidia is just so ridiculous. Such big weight on their future earnings is just silly to me. So overbought, so overpriced. Jeff said it's hard to say. Before today the market looked like it was going to correct. Now it's off to the races again. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's just one day and we certainly need to not get crazy here, but so Nvidia calls. The problem with that is they're going to be ridiculously expensive, not just because of volatility, but also the stock is so highly priced. Those are going to be like $10 leap calls, or not $10, $100 leap calls, 70, 80, which mean one call is going to cost you 8 to 10 grand throughout a year, if not more. And I'm just going off of guesstimates. It's probably more than that. Just knowing that more expensive stock is going to be more expensive calls that go along with it because it's going to be a percentage of the value of the stock. So just doing some math. So usually those leap long calls are about 10% of the value to the stock, which puts this about $77, obviously. That's 7,000. That's almost 8 grand for one call. That's pretty expensive. Jeff said maybe a collar trade on Nvidia. Well, I guess if you have a $500,000 account and somewhere you need to put money, you can only get 100 shares for 77,000. And just to get 300 shares, you're looking at 230, like 233,000. $233,000 tied up in one stock. Collaring it, yeah, that gives you limited upside and protection to the downside. But I don't want to be tied up in a stock like this, and I don't want to invest in a stock like Nvidia that is overpriced. I'm going to have a stock that I'm going to stick with for a long time. I'm really just more concerned about buying undervalued stocks that have big growth upside potential. Another comment, it's gone up 64% since the first of the year. Yeah, it's pretty crazy in a couple months, right? But it's not like it hasn't done this before. It is that crazy. All right, so here's what I'm getting at. Not worth owning the stock. Maybe not the best stock to trade stock or options. If you're more bearish, thinking it's going to fall, those puts are still going to be expensive. So either way you play this, it's just not going to work. Not for me, anyways. So, you guys mentioned some other stocks that were up. AMD, man, that's a big jump from 163 up to 183, but it's also kind of hitting the high end of this sideways range. Excuse me. This sideways range between those numbers. Yeah, you could maybe get a jump on that and see if it keeps pushing higher. but man, since November, it's nearly doubled. Micron. See, I like this one even a little better. Yes, it's up. It's come up quite a bit. We're getting the boost today. Fell below the 50-day. We have people that we manage money for who have Micron. Had things protected as it was falling below the 50-day. Popping back up, we're probably going to be taking Micron puts. Ooh, now that I think of it, we might be taking them off, but we've also got earnings because Micron's dumb and has earnings at the weirdest times. Check again where theirs are. March 20th, so we still got some time. Got about a month. We can still look at taking puts off to have that run a bit, see if it can't push above 90 and we get protected again for earnings. So it's a great way to follow the Nvidia trend at a much cheaper price. If you were to buy some calls on AMD or Micron, Micron, I would probably be looking to go out a year if I was just looking at this as a trade. Obviously, you're welcome to add Micron into the list of stocks you own if you've got the room. We've got the government piling money into Micron here, coming up more and more, and that the value of that, if you've listened to some of our other webinars, could push it up to the 130s. So not only does it have NVIDIA now kind of working with it and AMD and whatnot, chips in general, it's also just, it's going to get some American government love. So with that AMD, look at maybe where are they at again? 183, 185 calls out 2 to 3 months. And I would probably suggest bull call. Obviously, that's not going to make as much money, but if it doesn't get over that 185 price level, might struggle. So you might even just wait. Might even just wait on AMD. We could do that tomorrow. I mean, who knows? That gives you a little bit better idea if once it pushes above 185 that it's really got legs to go. Micron, look at leap calls out to January or June 2025. Those are some things I would be looking at, and a couple things there. Micron's more doing the memory stock or memory chips. AMD is more like NVIDIA doing the graphics and other processing chips. But Micron looks at a bit better technical position to be heading higher from this boost. So I would probably look more at Micron and then look at an AMD if it can break above the 185 resistance level. All right, those are my trades. You guys decide what you can do. Be smart. Don't be stupid. Keep in mind, we've got taxed selling in March and April coming up. March is usually a crap month. So a bit of caution there with that, which mainly means if you're getting a decent profit, take your profit and book the profit. And don't be greedy. Guys, is there any other questions or thoughts or things you'd like me to go over? Jeff, to get to your question on the meeting notifications, I don't know why it's only doing one per week. I know for a while nobody was getting anything. So maybe Kevin had to change something with how the meetings are sent out. I don't know. So I don't know if it's just it's a lot of things have changed on GoToMeeting, and it might just be that they're changing the way they're sending out the notifications, that it's just going out once a week instead of showing you everything. But I can't say for sure. All right, guys, I'm not seeing any questions. If that's it for you guys, then I am good as well, and looking forward to the upcoming weekend, and hope you guys are doing well, and wishing you safe trading and lots of profit. Take care. We'll talk to you guys next time.